Pakistan talks a lot about leadership, but we talk less and less about institution building, and even less about people who quietly build institutions that outlast them.
We started with one project in Lahore. We had no idea where we were going. MashaAllah, we have 67 projects now in 50 years, which is quite remarkable. Every child deserves a loving home. It doesn't cost me anything. I've gained from it.
Pakistan talks a lot about leadership, but we talk less and less about institution building, and even less about people who quietly build institutions that outlast them. SOS Children's Village has been working in Pakistan for the past 50 years and providing care to children who've lost parental care and guidance very early on in their lives. I'm very interested in knowing how Pakistan has created an institution like that and what that institution has gone through in terms of governance challenges of Pakistan, in terms of choices that they must have to make, and the trade-offs that they would have had to take in building the institution that has become almost like a legacy in Pakistan. I'm very honored and glad to be joined by Mrs. Souriya Anwar, who has led SOS Children's Village for 50 years now, is now known as President Emeritus. Yes. Very welcome to the show, Mrs. Souriya Anwar. As I said in my introduction, I'm interested in finding out about the institution building that you must have gone through. It is now an established entity, SOS Children's Village. Would you identify what were the governance failures in Pakistan that forced you to make some of the hardest choices in keeping or making SOS into what it is today?
Asiya, to tell you the truth, we started with one project in Lahore. We had no idea where we were going, how far we could go. Of course, we knew we wanted to repeat and have projects in other cities. But there was no plan that this was going to be a national setup. Yes, national, yes, in that we wanted to obviously be represented in the major cities and other places. But SOS has really, it's just grown like Pollyanna. It just grew and grew and it grew itself. We had no grand plan of how far we would go. We did know that we wanted to reach out to all parts of Pakistan, and we just took it one step at a time. And there was no way that we could anticipate what we have done. MashaAllah, we have 67 projects now in 50 years, which is quite remarkable. And for that, we have to give credit really to the people who support us. We didn't know how much support we would get. We didn't know what the response would be. We just knew that there was a need for some, progressive care for orphans. And when we got this offer from Austria, actually, it's an international organization.
Yes.
And when we got this offer from Austria, and they had come here and looked over the different cities and the facilities and invited me to set up the first village, which I was very happy to do. Simply because we were introducing a new concept that these children should not be treated as orphans. And the efforts we make to give them a loving home. We say every child deserves a loving home, and which is what we are building. And the response has been amazing. And we have been able to grow because of the support we got. Not because we had some grand plan that we were following. As we went to new cities, we found that we were getting the support. There were people who wanted to help us build the villages. And of course, we have this, I'm very proud that from the very beginning, SOS has been self-financing because the international organization, which has projects in 134 countries, the majority of them are supported by European sponsors. And we could have opted for that, but we said, no, we're getting the support here, we'll do it ourselves.
So have you ever had to rely on the state to support you?
No. From the very beginning, we had the option of, we could have applied to them, but they don't have much money. And if we had got anything, it would really have just been a drop in the bucket. So I decided very early on that there was no need for us to get involved in applying for government grants, which would have been minuscule. And we would have spent so much time satisfying them and giving them answers and questions and having them come and intrude. It was much better to do it on our own. Well, where we have got their support, and for which I'm very grateful, is the land in every instance. Because frankly, the land...
That's come from government?
Government. In every village is built on government land, except for one or two which are family trusts have given us land or something like that. And for that, I must give credit to one person who really, he just took over. He saw SOS and he said, this is it. Do it in every district in Punjab. And he was the governor of Punjab at that time, General Jilani.
Oh, wow.
He was so impressed by this work. And he said, well, what can I do for you? I said, we need the land. Once we have the land, we can then plan a project. And he immediately gave orders for us to get land. So most of the projects we have in the Punjab is land that he had given. And similarly, when we went to other cities, say like when we decided that we would we wanted to establish a village in Karachi, and again approached the government and said, if you give us the land, we'll make a project. And when we talked of 70, 80 canals, which is a lot of land, and they said, look, you can do that in Punjab, but not in Sindh. You have to have a smaller land area, high-rise buildings. But again, people come and help us. And at that time, Salman Farooqi, who we all know, was in charge, I don't know, secretary of some department that dealt with this. And he said to me, if you can get the governor to agree to give you the land, I'll give you as much as you want. Because they know what is available and is not. And when I met him and he said, you mean you want 80 canals of land, you don't have the money, you don't have the plans, you don't have anything. How can I be sure
but you'd had success in Punjab by
then,
when you went
but we should have had something in hand, before asking. So I said, no, the land has to come first, then we plan the project, then we find the donors. So he said, well, what guarantee do I have? So I said, okay, give it to us, so prove it, and if we don't have a project in 5 years, take it back.
Yeah, I mean, governmental land is leased in any case.
Yeah. So he agreed. And Salman Farooqi was actually sitting outside his office. I said, he's agreed. And do you know, that same afternoon, he showed me 3 plots. One in Hub, one in industrial area, and the one we have in Malir. He said, take your choice. And we got it.
So in terms of strength, your largest is largest village is where in Pakistan?
They're all the same. Oh, you mean the number?
The number.
Punjab, yes. Punjab has many.
And in Punjab, will it be Lahore or?
Punjab, we have Lahore, Multan, Rahim Yar Khan, Faisalabad, Sargodha, Rawalpindi, Sialkot. So we have very widespread representation.
So from starting this yourself, you've now at a place where you work almost like any professional entity works. You have a
We
board,
had to. It
you
had
have a
to be
general body,
actually.
you have. So
It had.
how did you get to those complications of existing
Well,
and the
when
governance
we
requirements?
began, anything you do, even if it's small, it has to be properly
Yeah.
organized. You can't just, ad hoc do things. And of course, we started with a constitution. We had to register with social welfare.
Yeah.
We had to make a constitution. We had to have members. We had to elect a board. All this was from day one. We had to do this, even though it was just the one project at that time. And when I say one project, you must remember that it's not just a village. With every village, we must have a youth home. And for us here in Pakistan, we had decided we also had to go into schooling, because the children had to get some good schooling.
Yeah.
So actually, we have 3 projects wherever we go. We begin with this. And our schools are very big community schools because we're going to open a school. We would like to invite other underprivileged children to also join. So everywhere is this pattern of 3. We have now added a 4th, and that project is, we call them children's homes. They should be called children's villages, but we differentiate so there's no confusion. And these homes are for the children of single women, women-headed households, which is really our biggest problem, much bigger than the orphans. And these are women who are widowed, divorced, for any reason, they're abandoned, and they're left with the children to look after them, and don't have the means and don't have the ability, because if they're looking after the children, how do they work? And are they able to work? It's a very big problem.
But you do.
So we have started these homes. So now we have 4 projects wherever we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you bring in some of these women with that SOS mothers concept. Some of these actual mothers come in, or you're
In
you're
these
dealing
homes,
with volunteers.
yes. In the home, no, there are no volunteers. The volunteers are there to oversee operations, but everything is properly staffed, because you need, permanence. You need trained people. You need proper staffing. We invite these women to come and work there. We would like them to come and be there. The children would be there, but they would be looking after all the children, not just
True.
their own. And they do come. Some do, some don't. It depends. It's their choice.
Have you ever had to say no to money because it came with expectations or restrictions or anything?
Never. And I always say to all the projects, if at any point they are filled to capacity and can't take more children, then we can rent a house. But we've never had to do that. We have the capacity, and we have sort of kept ahead of the demand.
Now, I'm sure you've had 50 years of dealing with this. You've dealt with many families who've come forward and donated to you, many individuals who've come forward, I'm sure some institutions as well. But here we are, where more and more of our population is young. And it's their heartstrings that you must sort of strike for them to come forward and be a socially responsible member of this society. How would you narrate what SOS Children's existence or its success means to them? Why should young people come forward and not only donate but help you in any way?
Do you know, we always encourage school children coming to visit us. And I have met people who've talked about SOS and praised what we are doing, and I've asked them which project they have visited. And they said, no, my child told me. And it's the children who come. And again, like humans, some children are very compassionate, very moved. And they grow up interested in what we are doing. In the summer, we have volunteers. We get more volunteers than we can use in the summer vacation. They're very interested. They want to come. They want to help. And I am always happy when young children come and respond, and because they're going to grow up as very kind and concerned human beings when they grow adults. So it's not just adults, children are also involved. In fact, I would think that the largest organized group are these children that come and visit us.
That's actually wonderful to hear. Very, very refreshing. Tell me that every childcare institution faces safeguarding issues. There are issues relating to ethical gray zones, crisis, etc. What are some of the hardest things that have hit you in the past 50 years? How have you dealt with that?
Actually, what we are fortunate to have is a very strong child safeguarding policy, very strong and very rigid. In fact, it is something that obviously we were doing anyway. One has to when you're take the responsibility for little children or any child. But our international organization is extremely strong on this. And we can make decisions by the board, can make decisions which, within the framework of course, which suit our culture, our conditions here. But the mandatory policy is the child's protection. And it is beautifully worked out. It's for different age levels, and it is presented and for the adults who deal with the children, and they have to have proper training in this. It has to be presented regularly to the children and the adults and ensure that it is followed and also reported. Any incident that takes place has to be reported, not only to us at the national office, to our board and to our international office. They make quite sure, and then they want to know what action has been taken. So it's a very tight and very effective policy.
Have you had to deal with a crisis relating to this? This is not just hypothetically, but some of the things that have emerged as issues that you've had to go back and reinforce training on and reinforce the safeguarding things on. What is some of the most difficult thing that you might have faced in dealing with this?
There are difficult. You do come across pretty serious incidents can take place. One has to deal with them.
I mean, after all, it's
happened.
the same
That's
society.
life.
If it's happening in the society,
but in our training programs, we have training not only for this. We have to train our staff, and we have ongoing training for the mothers, for the directors, in different groups, and this goes on regularly, because one batch comes in, and then you may have a changed group the next time to some extent. And so all our staff and our children, we have youth training, we keep them involved and we keep them engaged with the programs we are doing. And this goes on. This is a regular feature.
Now there must be, with technology there are newer challenges in even, places like SOS Children's Village, when you're dealing with children who do not have parental care available to them, and technology is, I'm sure, is taught inside your your schools and places.
As I mentioned earlier, we have our own schools, so we are able to control what is being taught or what they are doing, and they all have computer laboratories, they all have science laboratories, they all have very modern education tools. But in the village also we have computer labs. This is the main thing, where they're introduced to the digital
The reason
training.
why I'm asking is because globally, pretty much every country, every society is dealing with the issue of screen time, access, how it's affecting young adults, how it's affecting their mental health, how it's affecting their, their psychological sort of or their social skills. I mean, we've seen when we see children alongside us, those of us who've grown at a different time can still have some interpersonal skills. Those who've grown up with screen time only have very poor interpersonal skills
But
and
this
things
is
like that, and access. So is that something that you
no,
encountered,
it's
and how do
not.
you deal
It's
with
not
that?
because we're able to decide what is good for the children or what we feel they should have. So their screen time has always been limited to a certain time. They have a very busy schedule, and we're able to make a routine for them. They come back from school, they have homework, they have Quran classes, they have screen time, they have off time, they have sports time. It's all planned. So screen time is definitely limited. And the problem has been with as everywhere, with the cell phones.
Yeah, with cell phone,
Everyone
that's
wants
the
a cell
screen
phone
time, social
for
media, all
many,
of that.
many
Yes.
reasons. So we restrict that, no cell phones except for university-going students, and that too, they take them in the morning and use them all day and turn them in at night, because the night time is they're just lying in bed and looking at their screens. So we are able to control that to a certain extent. Yes.
Tell me now, after 50 years of doing this, you must have seen many cohorts of these children actually depart from SOS. How do you stay in touch? Is there an active community of those children who've left from SOS? What happens to them emotionally, economically, socially? Tell us,
That is
what
the
good
real
stories
joy.
do you
That
have?
is the joy when you see these children and you recall how they came in and what they have become. And we have many, many success stories. We have a program in the office. It's called Tracking Footprints. So we try to keep up with where they are and what they are doing, and from time to time we do studies on what they have achieved as a group. Then we also have reunions in the villages. The children who have left come back. We say they're always SOS children. They're never ex children. They come back, they meet each other, and it's really heartwarming how they keep in touch with each other. They really think of themselves as brothers and sisters, and they form groups, chat
Do they come
groups.
back as mentors as well to children
Sometimes,
now?
sometimes we encourage them to do that, especially boys to come to our youth homes and meet with the boys. But they all have busy lives, and most of them are married and they have children and responsibilities. They do come, but of course it's not that easy. But those that do come are amazing. They come and talk to them and help them, and sometimes they come and work with us. If they have the experience and the right education, we give them a job. Some of them are involved in our projects also.
So there are success stories, of course, but then there must be stories in which children who've actually sort of graduated out of the children's village have had to struggle in the society, which does not give them the same care and protection that SOS has given them. Have you had to deal with that also?
Do you know they help each other? They tell me, some of them do come to me on and off and say, we're having problems, and we help them as we can, help them either find a job or even monetary help. But not many come back to help to us with their problems. They share them with their own little group, and those children in the group are helping each other. It's really heartwarming, because they then tell me stories that, like one boy who's done very well, and he came in a brand new SUV to the last meeting, and I was very impressed. But that boy has said to all the others, if any of you need help educating your children, I will provide the fees. Now, this is the sort of thing they are doing which is really wonderful because they behave
It's a
like
sense
a family.
of community.
It's like
Yeah.
a family.
Yeah.
And they do help each other.
Tell me, what's your model of SOS mothers? How does that model work?
Do you know, if you ask me, the one thing that has been difficult for us to achieve is the standard of the SOS mothers. We started out hoping that they would all be at least matriculates. We need educated women. But those women that are in the job market and have some education don't want to do this work. Because we have this hierarchy of servants, staff, and mother, they say, "It's aega kaam." They don't want to do it. We have had a few, and when they are educated, of course, it makes all the difference. Slowly, they are coming in, and we try to tell them that this, being a mother is a great social service, and what is more important than motherhood. But I can understand where they feel that,
There's
they
still
would like
some
to
kind of a
join.
stigma attached to that.
The stigma, not the stigma, it just doesn't attract them. Why should we do this? This is an ayah's work, we can do something else. But slowly the problem is the people are coming, mothers are coming, we're getting some educated, some of them are educated, and then we arrange for adult literacy classes for them in the village, and that makes a big difference. The minute they get some learning, even an illiterate woman, she becomes more confident. And so we have to work very hard with the mothers. I think the main job of our village directors is to keep working, and of course it's ongoing. Apart from mothers training, it's ongoing in the project all the time. She is observing them, talking to them, telling them what we expect. So that is a big challenge.
Tell me, what do you see as the biggest challenge on the horizon for SOS Children's Village Pakistan today? We're in 2026 now. What would you set out for this year to be like?
Honestly, I don't see any reason why our trajectory should not keep going up. Because we are based on the philanthropy of our nation, which is tremendous. We all know that. And we also know that when you are giving your compulsory zakat or you want to give something, orphans are a very high priority. They're the top priority, orphans and widows. So I really don't see any Muslim nation that has accepted this idea that they will not continue to support it. I honestly don't see why it should not, unless, God forbid, something goes wrong with us and we don't, hamari jo kehte niyat, the way we are doing it, if we fail, I can see that support will fail. But mashallah, our support is good.
Do you have to rely a lot on children's stories to be able to get more and more charity or funding, or it's just the
Not
successful
at all,
model of SOS?
Honestly, we frankly, we do very little fundraising. It's all word of mouth. It's people who know about us and who are looking for worthwhile projects. People come to us. You see very little advertising of SOS anywhere.
So in terms of the capacity of the organization, where do you see the organization would want to get more and more skill set of in the coming years? Like where there may be a skill set shortage in terms of growing the organization or keeping it within the needs of the time?
We have a pretty solid foundation. We know exactly what we expect when we set up a project. It has become easier now because we have done it. We've done it. The pattern is there. We know what has been done right or wrong. I don't see any problem in just replicating this, except, of course, The constraint now is going to be the price.
Yeah.
The cost of making a project has now become phenomenal. It used to be so cheap in the beginning to give, the way we finance the running of the project, the maintenance of the children, is through individual sponsorship. And individuals pay the cost of each child per month. We started out 50 years ago, it was 150 rupees a month. No, 250, sorry. No, it was 150 lakhs for the house. It was 250 rupees a month per child per month.
And now we are at?
20,000 rupees. See how it, and when we talk of building a village, the villages are built also through donations. I mean, we plan it, we do everything, and then we say, look, here's the village. We would like people to come and donate homes, or if it's a school, donate classrooms or donate the school. That has now become very expensive. A home, building a home, used to cost 150,000 rupees.
Oh, it would be way higher now.
1.5 lakh. Now it costs 12 to 13 lakhs, one home for 10 children. So that is going to slow us down, obviously. We can't expect the money to come, even though incomes have gone up, but we can't expect that kind of money. Construction has become very expensive. Maintaining the children is no problem because the donors come to us. We have people. I mean, all our children are sponsored, and I feel that, as the children come in, they will find sponsors. But construction is not going to be easy.
In all of this, we've talked about SOS Village more and more, how that has grown. But there's you at the center of it who've devoted your, major chunk of your life. What did this leadership cost you personally that no one can see?
It hasn't cost me anything. I've gained from it. The satisfaction, it's impossible to measure that. I have had to commit myself, yes, but it's something that I have done willingly and happily, and I've had the support of my family. My husband was always very helpful. It hasn't cost me anything. I've learned a lot, and I've just enjoyed doing it.
If you were teaching a leadership class to Gen Z today, young people, and you gave them examples from your own career or the path that you chose, what would you tell them if they questioned you that this is a very unglamorous work? How would you motivate them or interest them to come towards this type of work within Pakistan?
Do you know, from the very beginning, I've had to convince people to come and join and work. Oh, yeah, not a single person can't do it. We have now, our volunteer force is our real success is due to them. The volunteers in every city who overlook this work. So I have always had to try to attract people, always had to convince people that they should come and join us. I have come to the conclusion that this is a talent, like a talent. I mean, not a talent. It's more of a calling. I'd call it a calling. You have to have that. You cannot convince a person who is not interested in what you're doing, who's an entrepreneur and wants to set up a business of his own or something. But you have to keep looking for those people who feel the same way as you do. You have a passion for helping others. And we have found them. We have found the most amazing people.
That's...
but they have to have this. And I've also come to the conclusion that this calling is only for a very small number of people. It's not in everybody. if you ask me to put a number on it, I would say maybe 10% of our people, or even less, who are willing. And not willing, they do it because it's like an artist has to paint. If you want to do
Yeah,
something,
it comes from within.
it's within you. You have to have it within you. You cannot force anyone to do it. And you have to have the right person. So it depends what you are looking for leadership in what. If it's for leadership in service, you need a different kind of person. If it's someone in business, you need to have that in you, acumen. It depends.
No, it's so wonderful talking to you. That here is a person who's devoted 5 decades of her life in building an institution. And I've tried to ask you whether there are any regrets or moments that it has cost you, and you say none. You've actually gained more and more about it. If I've asked you the challenges that you might be facing, and you feel that you've had such outpouring of support in all of these 5 decades and the projects that have come, that you don't think that there are any complaints.
Yeah.
And when I'm asking you about where would you find more and more people like that, you're saying they'll come forward.
They'll come.
I think that's the most positive person that I've ever interacted with. It's such a wonderful experience talking to you, and I'm really grateful to you for your time.
Thank you.
And for
Thank you
actually
so much.
sitting down and talking
I've
to me.
enjoyed it also. I love to talk about SOS, obviously, but I'm so glad this will reach people and they will learn about
I'd
the
certainly
organization.
do my best, but this is very refreshing because, I mean, having done the work that I've done, I sit down and I'm sure I can list down a few challenges and a few areas of frustration, and I think that's the most refreshing part, that you don't seem to find any.
No.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.